welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse with myself, Hoppocalypse and DPayne.
Di-dwit, which is hello in Irish.
Here this week to discuss something a little bit different. Usually we have polls and things that you guys get to vote on as a community that we can talk about. But this week, with the holidays and everything, we thought we would talk about Thanksgiving sides.
Yes. We also are used to having an audience.
Welcome.
I'm just gonna get it out there right now because
Yes.
yeah,
Welcome to our first episode recorded not live on stream because
it's weird.
it is different for us. We're just so used to streaming, aren't we?
And it's like we're making content without people like watching us do it live.
What is this like?
It's like, oh, Hop is my audience and I am her audience. We will now judge each other via our laughs.
But yeah, for anyone who's coming in and doesn't realize what's going on, really, typically we would record these live on stream, but with holidays and schedules and just the state of everything right now, we thought we would kind of take a breather and do these just offline to upload as an audio format. And along with that, we were hoping to kind of encourage people to hop onto their favorite podcasting platforms and give us a listen on there so that we could get this baby to grow a little bit.
I'm also realizing things that I don't like looking at, like the Audacity thing, just constantly going, I don't like that. You're getting minimized.
But do we have any announcements?
We don't have any official like big announcements, like new listeners or something like that. Mainly, actually, you know what? I could check the iTunes real quick while I'm talking. But for people who are wondering, we are literally just recording this the day after we recorded our last live one, which was Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah. Just reminiscing about so many different episodes of
Yeah.
It's Always Sunny.
So that was a good one. We'll see where this one goes. But yeah, I guess we'll say this right now, and we'll just say it at the end again, is that anyone that says something to us on Twitter or on leaves us a review on iTunes, we will read that out on the podcast. We will say you're a good guy or gal, or I don't know, whatever. There's a whole bunch of them. There's a whole bunch of titles people have, like Duke,
Sire.
Madame,
Count.
No, I'm thinking about the vampire.
I know.
Have
But
you seen the video where they take the Count singing and they bleep him out at times, where it's just like it's not anything dirty, but with the
it makes
him
it
being
seem
bleeped
dirty.
out, it's just like, yeah, it's just like, it's so funny, but you're like, oh goodness, Count. No.
Oh, buddy. But yeah, so yeah, we would always appreciate it. Yeah, any kind of reviews like that. I know last episode we were talking about how we kind of have a form going out for, like, it's a Google form.
And it'll be in this, and it'll be in the show notes or the description or whatever, that little paragraph thing that I think no one actually reads on the bottom of podcasts.
Yeah, but we have that form out, and when people were nice enough to, that follow us on Twitter, were nice enough to retweet it and make comments and like share it with their audience, we made sure to shout them out as well. So, and then any other interactions we get, like people posting fun It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia gifts on our topics.
Just gonna say, didn't realize how much everyone liked the guests. So just coming back, unless those were like guests that took the quiz and want to be invited back, you could just let us know.
Yeah, like we're just looking for feedback to help us make a podcast that you guys like to listen to more, and we did see that guests are up there as something they'd like to see more of, so we are working on that.
Yeah, just to let you guys know, we sent out 2 emails. Well, not emails, Discord emails, messages, whatever they're called.
I just call everything a DM unless it's an email.
Yeah, DM. Yeah, roll your dice. Oh, where's my dice? There it is.
But yeah, so I guess that wraps up all the announcements, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And then, so DPayne mentioned dice. So yeah, what we do is we roll d20s to see who goes first in the talking order, because we're both really into tabletop RPGs. So let us roll.
Should I roll my big D20 or my little pretty one?
Do you want to have a thunk in the audio?
Well, that's gonna count.
That was a yes.
I'm just gonna guess you're going first.
I got a 14.
Well, you almost beat my number by 10 because I have a 5.
Ooh, rolling low.
This die. Well, I also just dropped it because every time I roll it, it falls off the table, and I'm like, where'd it go?
But okay, so yeah, so then I'll be going first,
right.
and your number was an odd number, so we'll be talking about our least favorites first.
Correct.
Yes. All right. So on the topic of Thanksgiving sides, I just quickly made a list. I didn't do a bunch of
Me
extra
too.
research because you know what? Sometimes you don't need a reason to dislike food. Sometimes some foods aren't just for you. So
Looking at you, chocolate. Yellow gross thing.
And rewind to, we had an episode on chocolates, didn't we?
Yes. It was like episode 5.
Ooh, so long ago. We're on what, like 31?
1, 2, 3, 4. No, Looney Tunes is 5. 6, 7. Was it 9? 8. Where is it?
Where is it? Where are you, chocolate episode?
Oh, we have 2 pages. Wow, we made so many podcasts. We're on 2 pages.
Oh, episode 3
Episode
was
3.
chocolate.
I was close. I knew it was an early one.
Yeah,
I
and
didn't
that
know
was
we
an
had 2
interesting one for
pages.
DPayne. I don't know why we put that on our list of options for us to talk about.
I know how it got on there because I think you're like, let's talk about chocolate. I'm like, I don't like chocolate, but I'll find a way to talk about it if it gets voted. And then I think all the trolls in my community are like, hey, let's get DPayne to talk about chocolate. I'm like, y'all losers.
But yeah, so I put down, because in my mind, I saw this. I think we originally thought of this topic because you sent me an image, right, of each state's favorite side.
Oh, yeah. I can bring that up. I have it on my phone.
Yeah.
If we have time at the end, we could. I'm like trying to unlock my unlocked phone.
We can mention all the different ones that are listed there.
Yeah, we can do that at the end.
Yeah, but I saw one state, if I remember correctly, said side salad was their favorite side. And I'm sorry, that's not a Thanksgiving side.
I found it.
A side salad is just something you can have whenever you want.
Yeah, I remember that. Was it a... I don't know. I remember I was going over this with a group of friends, and one of them was from Alabama, and I mentioned what that item was, and she immediately was like, that's not a thing.
That's not a thing?
That's a thing that goes on top of a thing. You know what? We'll do that. We'll do that at the end of the episode. We will read all 50 states of their top chosen side dish.
Okay. Yeah, I think... oh, you know what I realized?
Nope.
I've never been good at U.S. geography, so don't mind me as I try to remember what all these states are.
I'll resend it to you.
No, I have the image. It's the name. It's the names of the states, because not all of them are named.
Well, we'll see how good mine is. Anywho, what's your runner? Did we explain how this works for people who just randomly clicked on this thing because they were hungry?
Oh, my bad. I mentioned the dice. And then,
Yes.
So what we do is we take turns talking about our most and least favorite in each subject. And in each of them, we have like runner-up least favorite and then our absolute least favorite. And then vice versa for our runner-up favorite and then our number one favorite.
And side note, just for before we get into it, we don't really. I think we forget to say this when we're live. But if anyone has a topic that they would like to see us talk about, or be like, dude, that was good, say it, like talk more about it, like just you can contact us. You can contact us on Twitter at twitter.com/pointlessdisco, all one word, lowercase. I don't know if cases matter.
I don't know if cases matter.
Yeah, I'm not really all that willing to find out. But yeah, just retweet or just add us on the Twitters.
Yep. But yeah, so my runner-up least favorite side for Thanksgiving would be side salad, because in my mind, that does not need to be a Thanksgiving side. That is just something you have when you have to add vegetables to your diet.
You know, the one you said is so good of how it shouldn't be a thing is that I didn't even think about it.
It's
That yes, I agree.
on this map. That is Maine's listed popular Thanksgiving side.
Spoilers. I almost got a job in Maine. Then I found out I put the wrong phone number
I remember this
on my
story.
resume.
Yeah, like I wouldn't have ever considered side salad to be in the list of things as Thanksgiving sides, but this map has shown me that is considered a Thanksgiving side to some people.
To be fair, not a lot of people live in Maine from when I last looked, but
When you last look.
to be fair, I figure as soon as I say this, we're going to be getting somebody that's going to be like, "Excuse me, there's tons of people that live in Maine." I'm like, "Okay, cool. What? Sorry, compared to what state? Rhode Island." I'm just gonna get all the states mad at me now.
Yeah, so like unless I don't know, maybe there was a special Thanksgiving side salad where you use fall ingredients to make a salad, but just generically saying side salad's my favorite side. Like it's like when you go to the restaurant and you get the salad before your meal and you're like, "Oh right, it came with a salad. Does anyone want it?"
Yeah. Let's turn this rabbit food back to. Oh, you should just take it home for the rabbits.
Ah yes, covered in house dressing and red onions, great for the rabbits.
They'll love it. So wait, what makes a fall salad?
So, I mean, there are certain vegetables and things that are particular to fall, like squash. If you use squash in the salad, I think what is certain lettuces. I forget which ones are more of a summer lettuce versus a fall lettuce.
Is it brown and yellow and, and orange? It changes with the seasons.
No, I feel like when is kale in season? Time to Google.
I don't know. But then again, I'm not really eating kale all the time.
Yeah, I don't eat it often.
I
Oh,
don't think I had it
so
ever.
kale is in season in September.
When September ends.
What happens if I Google fall lettuce?
Oh man, just that silence after it made me laugh because I know you're reading and I'm just like, just memeing. Um,
Yeah, it seems like there are various like loose leaf lettuce that you can grow in fall and early winter.
would that be like a root salad? Not salad, sorry, but like root vegetables or something like
I,
sweet potatoes and
that probably also qualifies. Like I said, I was thinking squash. Like this time of year, I eat a lot of butternut squash, things like that. I know there's spaghetti squash that exists. That one confuses me. I'll eat it, but it confuses me how it works.
oh, yeah, there's a channel that I watch on the Instagrams that like she's always making like butternut squash spaghettis.
Huh.
And I'm like, I don't understand how this works, but it's cool.
But yeah, so that's my runner up for my least favorite Thanksgiving side. What is yours?
Okay, mine is. All right, so I know this is probably on a lot of people's number. You know what? Now I'm thinking about it. I wrote this down, and I'm like, and now that I'm about to say it, I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is on Hop's like good list, just from if I'm remembering conversations, but I could be wrong. But my runner up, I put as stuffing.
I do not agree with you, but go on.
Yep, I was right. I was like, yes, I said. So, because I think we talked about this on a past podcast, but I'll just share my view of it, and then when we get to the good side, and I spoiled Hops the answer, it was bound to happen. It would be the first podcast that we have where we're not live, that we have a topic we don't agree with, because I don't think that's happened up to this point. Chocolate doesn't count
Yeah.
because like everyone knew going in, DPayne can't eat chocolate. Um, but it was it's just one of those things when like I look at stuffing, and it could be just how my I'm gonna throw my mom under the bus, but like she won't get too mad at me. Um, it was just one of those things where I don't think she knew how to make well. and it just like it was one of those things where I looked at it and I'm like, this doesn't look good, and you're pulling it out of the butt of the turkey, like, and it already looks like it was digested. I don't know. And like, I know like what it's like half bread or something like that, but it's just like I don't know. Whatever it was, I'm just like the way it was presented to me when I was little, it did not look appetizing. And then when I would eat it, it was just that overarching feeling of just like butt bread that is
Butt
being
bread.
butt bread that is being pulled. Okay, I don't want to get 2 explicit episodes in a row, but that's where we're gonna keep it. Um, but yeah, it was just one of those things. Like I looked at it and I'm like, this does not look appetizing, and then just it was the way it was presented to me was so unappetizing that it was made like gross in my mouth. And like I know I had stuffing at like when I lived in New York, I couldn't come home for Thanksgiving, so a family up there invited me in, and I was able to have food there. And it's just like, okay, well, I'm invited there. I'm a guest. I'm gonna have a little bit of everything. I didn't mind it then, but at the same time, whenever my mom made it, I just like it was that and meatloaf. Those were like the I couldn't eat my mom's meatloaf, and my brothers loved it. I'm like, I despise this. But then like I would go over somebody else's place, and I would like it. I don't know. I liked everything else my mom made, but it was that meatloaf. But it was just like I don't know what stuffing's actually supposed to look like. If this is what it's always supposed to look like, where it looked like brown and green, and then it had like flecks of like carrots in there, and it looked like a glop.
Yeah, it's definitely not appetizing looking. It doesn't have the colors in it that make you go, "Oh, yes, that is what I will eat first."
Those are digested colors.
Like, I agree it doesn't look very appetizing, and I don't think growing up I ever had like full-on homemade like coming out of the turkey stuffing.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably unfortunate that you had to see that before you ever got to eat it. But
I've had it a few times. It's just like it's like that mental thing where I'm like, it's just I see the turkey's butt and it is poking out.
yeah,
Like,
I've never had stuffing made like that. I think growing up I always had boxed stuffing or stuffing that was more baked. Like I was looking up a recipe for myself for this year because with everything we're not going to other families just to be safe. We decided we're just gonna like make our own Thanksgiving thing. Strider does not like stuffing, but I was like, I want stuffing. And the recipe I found is more, I think it's baked, where you use like poultry seasoning to season it, and you don't need a turkey to stuff it into.
I heard it was more like bait, and I'm like, wait, you're eating like stuff you give to fish? That's why it's inside the turkey. They're just like they put down the stuffing to catch the turkey, and then as it digested and thrown
It
in
comes
oven,
out as you
it's
bake
cooked.
it.
Yeah, it just
No, but it is bread. It's
Yeah.
just stale bread, and so you want it to be like tough stale bread so that it absorbs, like when it's in the turkey. I think to absorb the turkey juices. I could be wrong. I'm not a chef.
By the way, I caught you on Twitter. We're both on Twitter right now as we're doing this. Because I was about to like the tweet you just like commented on.
We're professional podcasters, don't mind
This
us.
is how good we are. We're able to talk about food, and I'm trying to find that one tweet I found. Oh, I did like it. I already liked that tweet. They are cool nails.
Very cool.
If you're, hey you know what we're talking about. If you listen to the podcast, they cool. I'll admit I don't know how you can do some things with nails that big, but hey, they're yours and not mine, and they still look cool. Anywho, stuffings. Where were we?
It is not in my bottom tier of Thanksgiving sides.
Yes.
And that it is bread, and it doesn't always have to leak out from a turkey's butt.
Butt bread. I'm going to name the podcast that, butt bread. But yeah, that's all I have to say about it. It's I don't know. It's one of those things like now it's like I can't go and try my mom's stuffing with how life goes on, but it's definitely one of those things where I'm just like I wonder, did I just do was I just like not not giving my mom's cooking a chance because of how it was presented? I'll never know. But I have had stuffing since then, and it's not the worst thing, but the presentation of it still just I'm like, ugh.
No, it's not the prettiest food.
It's like Human Centipede. There's a reason why that movie was shot in black and white.
I don't think it was.
The second one was.
Oh, okay.
Because the second one was made. I watched like a little interview on why they did certain things on it, and I was like, oh, that's really gross. I'm never watching this.
Yeah, I didn't watch those movies.
So.
All right.
Okay.
So then I feel like
What's your worst? Oh,
I think
sorry.
I think my worst is going to be pretty controversial. It's only my worst because I feel like it's really easy to make these bad when they could be good, or make them so that they don't taste like anything and it feels like a waste of calories. And I'm going to say mashed potatoes.
We might. I disagree.
I've had in going like between different families, different people hosting, because growing up they used to kind of do a thing where we would rotate between family friends and just have a bunch of people over, so that way, you know, one family's cooking a lot for Thanksgiving and then the next year another family will and people will bring stuff. And I feel like some years some people, their mashed potatoes cannot be trusted. I would always not get the mashed potatoes because sometimes they were good, they were buttery, they were tasty, they were salted and peppered and tasted fine. Other times I'm like, what is this texture? There's no season. I don't want to have to drown this in gravy. I'll just eat another thing. So I think for me, it's just like, it's one of those things where I'm like, do I trust that these mashed potatoes are good, or do I like waste the calories when I could get more stuffing?
Yeah. I'll admit it's kind of the same thing that you said about stuffing, because we would normally have stuffing, not stuffing. We would normally have mashed potatoes out of the box.
Uh-huh.
So, but yeah, I think the worst kind of potato. Wow, I can't talk today. The worst kind of potatoes to have are the ones where you're like, man, this is nice and smooth. Oh my gosh, there's a chunk.
Yeah, you're like, this is fine. This is, oh wait, what are these little, oh, this shouldn't be, I shouldn't be chewing my mashed potatoes.
Yeah, I'm like, look, if I wanted to choose something, I would have like gotten more turkey. I didn't want this like potato puree. I didn't want this potato milkshake to be chunky. Just like how you don't want your milk chunky, you don't want your potatoes chunky.
Yeah, like since then, as I've gotten older, I've been to like, I reduced the amount of houses I go to for Thanksgiving, and now the places I go to now, they have good mashed potatoes, and I've learned the mashed potato recipe, and like I'll make it and it's good. But no, growing up, sometimes it was soup, sometimes it was soup with potato chunks, sometimes they were like, oh, we made healthy mashed potatoes, and it just tasted like nothing. I'm like, why could you make 2 batches, one covered in butter, so that I could actually like appreciate it? Because I think what the core mashed potato recipe is, what, like butter, milk, salt, pepper, and mashed potatoes.
I was about to say you're leaving out the potato part of that potato. I was like, I think I found the problem.
Turns out they were just bringing milk and butter and not actual potatoes.
Like, I thought you were like supposed to bring your own potatoes. I brought everything else.
Yeah, I brought all the pieces. I thought it was BYOP. Bring your own potatoes.
Bring your own potatoes.
And
That's the worst way to say potato.
potatoes. But I also I don't know if I can necessarily put these hand in hand, but I prefer being able to eat mashed potatoes without gravy. And I know usually when you get kind of bland or okay mashed potatoes, it makes up for it with gravy. But
Mhm.
I don't like to drown things in gravy. I want to be able to taste it first and then decide if it needs gravy. And if I taste it and I don't like it, then I'm just like moving on.
Yeah, there was a story I heard that I don't know if it was like a real account or something, but pretty much this guy, like whenever he would hire somebody, he would like take them out to this real fancy restaurant and just have like a conversation with them, and he would just let them talk and everything, and he was like, "Don't worry, I'll order our food," and he would just sit there and be like, "Okay, well, this is cool," and then like the soup would come out, and he would hire or fire them depending on if they seasoned the soup before they tasted it. If they did that like without tasting it, I forget why he did it, but it was just like, yeah, how dare you? Like, not how dare you, but it's just like, oh man, this person isn't like taking time to slow down and like make sure that everything is good. And it's like, man, that's what you have to do with your potatoes. Slow down, make sure that they're actually good before. Yeah, because I'm not a gravy person either, like on the potatoes. So, like, my dad, on the other hand, like he'll just like create a crater,
Create the well at the top.
yeah, and then just fill it. And I'm like, no wonder you had heart issues. And so, and then it's like, yeah, not only do I have my gravy, I got my butter. That's not how my dad sounds like, but this is the voice that's coming out. He's like, yep, there we go. I got a little butter hot pad thing.
It's not a
Hot
dollop,
tub.
right?
Hot,
A whole hot
not,
tub of butter. Whoa.
oh man. You
So,
know what? If you stack snow, excuse me, up correctly, it could look like mashed potatoes.
it could look like mashed potatoes. I got slightly distracted because I was like double checking myself on like typical like mashed potato stuff, and I covered most of the ingredients. But this particular website, she was like, I always grew up with mashed potatoes with cream cheese in them. I
I
don't know.
think you know what? I think I've read something or saw that, but I don't know. I guess it depends. Now I'm just thinking, oh man, some strawberry cream cheese in there in the middle of your potatoes.
Ooh, now it's dessert potatoes.
Oh man, I think I have another live show topic.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
But I don't know. I'm also just not the like if I'm eating a bagel, yeah, I'll put some cream cheese on it, but I know other people that are very much like but bagels are a vessel to just get cream cheese into my face. So
Mhm.
maybe that's me. I'm not a topping person. I'd rather the base be good.
Are you a flavored cream cheese person or just plain?
It depends on the bagel I'm eating, but usually I eat like a cinnamon raisin bagel, so plain because I don't want to clash
Oh yeah,
flavors.
because sweet and sweet.
Yeah.
I remember I was at a place and like it was more like there was like uh, for people who don't know, I do a lot of stuff in my church and I help out with the teen program there, the youth group, and I am definitely that leader that is like people are like, why did you do that? Like, it's honestly like it's the DPayne stream live, like especially when we go on like retreats and stuff, because it's like y'all took me away from my computer for a weekend where I get out a lot of this like entertainment energy, and now you guys just have to deal with it. And not everyone is able to handle it. I remember a student looked at me when I said something. She's just like, "Why do you make everything worse?" And I was like, "In your,"
Worse.
and I'm like, "In your opinion," because it was some. I don't even remember what I said, but she just like looked at me, just like, "Why do you say the things you do?" And I was like, "These are the things you're gonna remember in like 5 years." Just like remember when that leader said this. Oh man. And then hopefully we'll end the next line will be like, he was a cool guy. But what I was getting at is that we would have bagels for breakfast, and I was just sitting there like, we almost are out of strawberry cream cheese. So I took the strawberry cream cheese and put it on the one end, and then a few of the other students were just like, oh man, what? It's just like, man, but I want something on my other one too. And I'm like, and then I went and got like like garlic and chives and put it on the other one.
Oh,
And I'm like, they're like, what? Why are you I was like, yep. And I walked back to the seat, and they're just like, why'd you do that? And then I took them both, and then I put them
no.
together,
No.
and I ate them in front of them, and they're just like, why? Why'd you do? And I'm like, for this reaction. I will do not anything, but I will do a lot of things just to get a grossed out reaction from teenagers after they think they're the like coolest thing. And I was like, I will gross you out and win. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is a sandwich that I wish to never try.
Oh man, I saw a picture the other day. I was like, oh man, I should send this to Hop because it's definitely one of those cursed like food images. And then I never did.
That's fine. I'm sure it'll come back around again. Cursed
Yeah.
food seems to always exist on the internet to haunt
Well,
me.
I gotta be careful because like I'll send it to you, and then somehow like in a TFT Tuesday time we'll be talking, and then Scud will come out of the shadows and just like, oh, do I need to try something? And we're like, you don't, Scud. Like, thanks for the music for the podcast, but no, please don't. And he's like, I'll be back. And then he'll be gone for like 2 months. Like, yeah, I had to get my stomach pumped.
Yeah, for anyone who isn't familiar, Scud's a friend of ours, and he is not scared to try cursed foods, I find, such as Sour Patch Kid cereal. And one day he explained that he tried dipping his pizza in coffee just to see what it was like. Definitely braver than I am when it comes to food.
He's an adventurous soul. He also made the music for the podcast.
Yep, our intro music. Super nice. But yeah.
And outro.
And the
It's
outro.
the
Same song. So yeah, that's all I have to say on mashed potatoes.
Oh, that's what we were talking about, wasn't? Oh, I almost dropped my tea on my keyboard.
Pure chaos when we're not live.
Oh man, I love it.
But yeah, so what's your least favorite side?
Okay, so this actually was something that I liked a lot when I was younger, and then as I got older, I don't like as much. It's cranberry sauce.
I don't know how I feel on cranberry sauce. I always never get it on anything. Like, for anyone who isn't familiar where we live near a
Like
bunch
me.
of like we live near a bunch of Wawas, and when it comes to this time of year, I always get gobblers, but I always skip the cranberry sauce because I always find it overpowering.
You know what? One thing I've noticed is that we say Wawa a lot, and not a lot of people know what a Wawa is. So for people who don't know what a Wawa is like a convenience store. If at 7-Eleven, I think is the more worldwide version.
Yeah.
Equivalent, yeah. And so imagine a 7-Eleven, but more localized and better food because they are very like they don't have to ship all over the world.
Yeah, I know another equivalent is Sheets, but I forget. Is Sheets also like the East Coast but more south?
I think so. I feel like on the East Coast we have Wawa, and then once you get a little bit in from the East Coast, you get Sheets.
There's also Royal Farms.
Yeah, well, that's not in Pennsylvania. No, I think that's more in Jersey.
Delaware, I think, is the starting place for it.
Delaware isn't a real place.
Wow.
I have family in Delaware.
Are they real?
I don't know. Not yet. Yeah. I guess like when I think of Royal Farms, like now that I think about it, I've never been in a Royal Farms.
They did start opening some around where I live in Jersey, and yeah, it's the same kind of like computerized menu, pick out what you want to order. But I think Royal Farms tries to sell itself more on fried chicken, whereas Wawa is like, I don't know, it's hoagies.
They morphed like because originally it was just like, hey, come get your drinks and your lunch meat and some hoagies.
It was more of a deli counter.
Yeah, and then like people kept ordering hoagies, so then they used to have like a 12-foot long hoagie that they would sell. They don't sell that anymore. Or was it 3 foot?
I
I
don't
think it was
remember.
3 foot. It was a big. It was a
Yeah.
big boy. But But yeah, they would have that, and then but yeah, and then they started going more into like there's breakfast and lunches, and kind of stopped giving deli food, like deli meats and cheeses out. Excuse me. So, and then they started coming out with those fancy pretzels. But but yeah, the what was it? Cranberry sauce. So when I was younger, for Thanksgiving, they would just get the canned cranberry sauce, which, oh man, that's got a real fun noise when it comes out.
It's a
Um,
squelch. I think
yeah, just
squelch.
it's like it doesn't pop. I just that was the shape my mouth was in when I was finishing the wrong noise. But anyway, it was just real fun because like we get out halfway, and then it's just like I can't go anymore, and you had to like shake it as it's like
Sliding
wobble.
out.
Yeah, and it's just like just like man, you're so gross but so funny. And that was like really it's like really sweet. And then I had people who made homemade from scratch cranberry sauce, and that was very tart. And then as I got older, and I don't like I don't mind sweet things, but I don't enjoy eating sweet things a whole bunch. Um, it became more and more like I didn't like the tart stuff, but I because like I don't know, it was like in my brain cranberry sauce is supposed to be sweet, and so whenever I would eat the tart sour thing, I'm just like, this is not what I wanted. Something's bad. But then when I would have cranberry sauce, I'm like, this hurts my teeth because it's too sweet. And so now I'm like, I'll just have more of blank. And I don't get them anymore.
Yeah, I think I remember as a kid, I asked for it once because I had seen it a lot in TV and stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
for my family, since they were, immigrants, they were trying their best to like do Thanksgiving in the American way because that's what we would see on TV and everything. We also had like a lot of Filipino foods to supplement. They'd be like, oh, if we're cooking a bunch of things and we're supposed to cook things we like, we'll do some traditional Thanksgiving stuff, see what works for our family, and then make some other stuff for us in case not everything works. So I remember begging for cranberry sauce and watching it slide out the can and retain its shape of the can. And like, I think my family might have given me too thick of a slice, but when I tried it, I was like, that's not what I thought it was going to be. It looks so much cooler on TV.
I feel like that could be a lot of things on TV. That looks so much cooler. Like Stretch Man Armstrong.
Yeah, he doesn't really fall so gracefully. He could have just
And then he had like the enemy when you left him out in the sun, he would bubble up. I remember my cousin had one, and man, you could just really make anything in the 90s and kids would buy it.
as long as the music was cool enough for the commercial and the kids looked excited enough.
Mm-hmm. And then there was the videos of people who kept going too far with the stretch man, and then you saw the inside and you're like, oh.
I don't think I've seen those.
It's like just a whole bunch of beads.
Oh, okay.
It's like chunky shaving cream.
Ew.
But yeah.
So is it kind of like you feel like you outgrew your love of cranberry sauce?
I think it's just like my um the flavor profile of my tongue changed.
That happens.
Which yeah, well, I think it's I think I remember. Okay, I have Twitter open. I'm tired of looking at this dumb State Farm ad. Go away. um okay, you know what, just minimize this. I'm tired of looking at ads in general. Hello, Sonic Watto. The where was I? Yeah, so I think it's like every couple of years, or as you just get older, taste buds die, and so that's why like when you're younger, um, you can't eat. Well, you can't. Not that you can't, but you're a lot more sensitive to heat and sour and just spicy things in general because your taste buds. You have a lot more taste buds, and they're, well, if I'm understanding correctly, a lot more sensitive. But then as you get older, some of them die, which is why um, you are able to, like, some things start to taste different and you don't like the same thing that you liked when you were younger, and vice versa, because like now you're like those taste buds either changed or like that flavor profile doesn't hit the nerves correctly anymore. I don't know the science behind it, but I know that it's like as you get older, I'm not sure if it's that taste buds die or they just, which I guess if it's desensitized like over time would make sense as well.
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, body's weird.
Things change.
Yep. But that's all I have to say about cranberry sauce. It makes a fun noise, but now it's either too tart or too sugary for me.
No comfortable in between.
I don't know why, but now this is like making me think of spam.
I love spam.
I never had it, and I want to try it because it's like my interaction with spam was my mom saying it's gross, and I'm like,
I mean, it's
uh,
not pretty looking, and it also makes noises coming out of the can like cranberry sauce.
yeah, but I said that I like that part. I It's one of those things where I'm like, I just see, like, I remember you mentioned that you liked it. I don't know why, but Instagram decided that it's going to show me a whole bunch of Japanese, Korean, and Chinese. I think some Vietnamese, like, influencers all over my recommended page, and I don't know why, but I see them talk about spam as well, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I think I want to try this. I want to try the spam. um, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll just have to ask you, Hop. What is a good dish to have spam with, or do you just eat it plain?
Plain is not the answer.
Okay, there we go.
Because
Cross that off the list.
technically it's pre-cooked in the way that like what is it? I think they say like beans are technically pre-cooked,
Hmm.
so you can like eat them out the can. Yeah, don't do that with spam. When whenever I would have spam, a lot of the families and stuff, they would basically pan fry it and then eat it over rice. I don't know that you need to add any additional seasoning because it's already like spiced and salt. It's very salty.
Okay, I don't mind salt. So okay,
It's been
next
a
cooking stream.
it's been a while since I've had it, but I did go to a Hawaiian place once, and there's something called like spam.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
they have like the
I forget what it's called.
sushi-ish way of preparing
Yeah,
spam.
like
That's
it's.
really good.
Oh, hold on. I think it's actually on my Windows hotbar because I was talking about it.
At Masubi, I believe.
Yeah. Yep, right here, Masubi, where it's just spam and then it's just wrapped in
The nori.
nori. Yeah, I was combining Watto.
But
Yeah,
all
this
right,
one looks like it has a little bit of egg in it.
you could probably do a little bit of egg, but
Oh,
we did.
you should ask Mama Hop. Hey, what is my friend wants to try spam? What is the best way?
I don't think she was the one that makes spam. I think it was my mom's friend. My mom would always make corned beef hash, where you get corned beef out of a can,
Okay.
and that's corned beef, onions, cabbage, and some sort of seasoning, and that over rice.
Corned beef is also an interesting meat.
It is interesting, but sorry, we run off on a tangent and lost
Oh
ourselves.
no.
Tangents. I just want to make sure that we don't completely lose it looking at the time. So yes, on to our favorite Thanksgiving sides. Since we took a side to talk about spam and canned foods, I my runner-up favorite side for Thanksgiving is mac and cheese.
Oh. I like mac and cheese, but I don't think I normally have it for a side dish. It's still good.
Yeah, I think more often than not, I have mac and cheese as a side dish because um most meals that I have are kind of like, at least at the places I would go to, is like you have your protein, you have some kind of carb, so it's either bread or pasta side, and then you have your vegetables. So mac and cheese was usually the side. I don't think I've ever had mac and cheese as a main meal.
Well, when I was in college, I did. But no, now that I think about it, my mom like she would make mac and cheese. I like how this went from Thanksgiving to like yeah, just food in general. But she would make like she would break out the Kraft mac and cheese. Oh my goodness, now I'm just thinking of yesterday's podcast because I when I was editing it, I clicked on it and I just heard the mac and cheese. It's not a
It's not a
all the
secret recipe.
That's a really secret recipe. um, that but yeah, my mom would make it. Um, like just would have the Kraft mac and cheese, and she would make it, and that would be our dinner. But I also had very picky younger brothers,
Okay.
so it might have been part just eat something, you despicable child.
Yeah, no, a lot of kids do tend to end up being picky. It might be like you said with the taste buds, where I know I've heard a lot of younger people, they don't like marinara sauce because it's too acidic for them.
hmm
So then, like, spaghetti seems like a kid-friendly food, but if they're too young, then the tomatoes, it's too much for them. But yeah,
Yeah, because the same brother, he would like spaghetti, but he wouldn't like sauce on it. Like he would just put butter and Parmesan cheese.
on the noodles, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, for me, mac and cheese, I have a homemade mac and cheese that I really like to make and that I really like. And I tend to only really make it on holidays. So I think that's why I kind of associate mac and cheese as a side for things like Thanksgiving, because making homemade mac and cheese, I'm almost never making it in a batch small enough for two people. It's probably a batch for 8 servings. So we kind of like save it until the holidays.
Just like, okay, Strider, this is what we're having for dinner for a week.
No, that wouldn't be a terrible idea though. Like, you make a bunch of the mac and cheese, and then if you have leftover protein, you're like, oh, we're gonna have mac and cheese with some chicken in it. Oh man, we're gonna add bacon.
Oh man, mac and cheese stuffing. Now we have butt
Oh
macaroni.
no! I actually saw
Never
that come.
mind.
I was googling stuffing recipes, and mac and cheese stuffing came up and on the autocomplete, and I was like, no, 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 this is not allowed.
I want to look it up.
No, I just love mac and cheese. I think I just really like pasta and cheese, and combining the two is always a win for me.
So, what's your view on ravioli?
I like ravioli. It's not my favorite because I don't always love the fillings. Like if it's a cheese filling, sometimes I don't love the texture of what is it, ricotta.
Mhm. That's a cheese.
I think that's the usual cheese in it. Is it a different cheese that's in
Sorry,
ravioli?
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I don't know. I typed in mac and cheese stuffing.
Did it actually return anything?
It stuffed it inside burgers.
What? Wait. They stuffed mac and cheese into burgers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like they.
Yes.
I thought you meant that like they stuffed mac and cheese into stuffing. No, I see stuffing mac and cheese recipes
Oh,
coming
okay.
up.
Hold on. I put mac and cheese stuffing, and let me put it in front.
We're learning how to Google right on the podcast.
Now I have burgers inside of mac and cheese.
What did you do?
I typed in stuffing mac and cheese. Here, I'll send you the picture right now. I like this non-live version. I can do this. I can't do this one live because I have a million windows open.
And then you don't want to accidentally show it on the wrong screen.
Yeah.
That looks hideous. I don't want whatever that is. He just sent me a picture of like mac and cheese patties, but like mac and cheese buns with a burger in the middle.
I know how this is made. Yeah, so there's the burger in the middle, which I don't. That's a suspicious looking burger, and then I got a little bit of bacon with a little bit of vegetables. You can see like there's some green onions. It looks like, and then it has the mac and cheese, and then it looks like they put that in there, probably did a light coating of flour or something, and then fried it.
That doesn't mean I want to eat it.
I didn't say to eat it. I'm just saying I know how they made it.
Nah,
I
the recipes.
This is what cooking pain has done. I'm now recognizing what these dumb cooking techniques are, and I hate it.
The magic, it's gone away. No, the recipes I see that come up for stuffing mac and cheese is like you bake mac and cheese and then put stuffing on top, so you get everything at once.
You know what? I also realized what the problem could be.
What's
I'm
that?
not using Google.
Oh,
I'm using DuckDuckGo.
they're doing their best. Yeah.
Oh
So you
wait,
saw the
wait.
screenshot I sent you, right?
Oh, I found it on DuckDuckGo. I just had to put a space in between stuffing and mac.
Weird.
Look at this crouton cheese.
Yeah, it looks weird. But oh, and as far as mac and
Ew.
cheese goes, if I had to pick a form of mac and cheese, I prefer stovetop. I don't always loved oven baked mac and cheese because you always like I feel like you always end up with the crispy edges that are dried out and didn't get covered in the cheese mixture well. And I also don't love when people put crumb topping on top of mac and cheese. I think it's for me it's that thing where like we talked about mashed potatoes, we want one texture. If I'm expecting like soft cheesy pasta, if I have to like bite into something that's a different texture, I'm like, it's not what I was signed up for today.
Here's another picture. It has nothing to do with what we were talking about, but it just showed up on Twitter. um, but yeah, no, I like stovetop as well because you can definitely control it better. Like I feel like you can make sure it's mixed. What's your favorite boxed mac and cheese? I know that you said you have your homemade recipe, but if you had to choose a boxed one,
I kind of lately the Annie's mac and cheese has grown on me.
I realize I said this and I only know two.
Annie's is the one that's like it's advertised as being organic and everything, but
The TFT character.
yes, that little girl. No,
You bite into it and you get a shield.
the Annie's one. A lot of the advertising you see is like the first time I bought it was because it was on sale and it was bunny pasta, but overall I like the sauce that comes out from the packet.
I know which one I don't like because it grosses me out.
What's
is
it?
that Velveeta?
Velveeta as a cheese scares me. I don't understand it.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing where it's just I don't know if you've seen the mac and cheese version of it, but like you got your mac and cheese, it like gives you macaroni, makes that, and then it's like here's this packet of cheese. Instead of a cheese sauce, it's just like a big
brick.
old glob of cheese, and it's just like, yeah, chuck me in there, and I'm like, no, and it's like, do it. So, but yeah, Kraft. But I think I like the Kraft macaroni and cheese. But man, the shapes, I think you get less mac, but it's still cool. I like it.
The downside of the shapes though is sometimes the shapes don't translate well. I remember my friend used to always ask her parents for SpongeBob mac and cheese growing up, and I would look at them and I'm like, these are all broken. They're all just like because the way it was cut so thin to try and make them look like the characters, that most of the characters would just break when you stirred the sauce into the pasta. And you're just like, well, it's not a shape anymore. They're all kind of like strings of noodles.
But from what I heard, you like the broken boys.
Wow. I feel attacked.
But it's the truth. You say it.
Oh, I didn't deny it. Yeah. What's your runner-up for favorite Thanksgiving?
Oh yeah,
side?
that's what we were doing. This is like we're going to the TFT talk now. Biscuits.
Biscuits are good.
For when I was growing up, the biscuit that would be the biscuit of choice by my parents because they would buy it was the croissant, which was I'm like, I don't know how to spell croissant when I was trying to write this down. But then I remembered like as time went on, like it was sometimes we'd have croissants, and then we went into like the grands, pretty much any Pillsbury like air tight thing. Oh my goodness, I was making them the one time, and it scared me because I was like, I'm gonna open it, and for anyone who hasn't opened one of these things, normally you take the paper off from the outside, and then you have to take a spoon and press on the seal to have it pop open. I took the paper and it exploded in my hand. I'm like,
Oh
oh!
no, thank you.
I was like, I wasn't expecting it. And I'm just like, and by exploding, I just mean it just went, it just popped, and like it didn't go anywhere, but it was just more like, ah, like, yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Why'd you do? Um, so, but yeah, I just remember it got to the point, especially as we got older. Um, me and my brothers, like, we would just eat so many um whatever it's called biscuits, that my mom's like, I'm only buying two tubes. When you guys eat them all, they're gone, no more. And like she would have to uh she would make one batch right before we started eating, and then while we were eating she would make another batch, so that way they all weren't sitting out there, so we'd be like, oh, we can keep eating them. So she purposely spaced them out so that way we actually ate like other food in between our biscuits. But yeah, what kind of biscuit do you normally have for
The I forget what they're called, but they are the Pillsbury ones with the, I think, grands, where they like the peelable ones.
like, and then it's like a whole bunch of like a little layers.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that those are the grands.
yeah. Those are the ones that we typically would have for Thanksgiving. They're so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pillsbury knows what they're doing. You hit that little dude's stomach, he's like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. What was it? If we ever do like a breakfast thing, we tend to do like the Pillsbury orange rolls. But for the longest time, I would absolutely hate opening the can. So when you said that you peeled the paper and it immediately popped, no, thank you. Because I know as a kid they were like, use a spoon and press it in. I was like, it's so close to me. What if it hurts me when it pops? Now what I do as an adult is I hit it against the counter. So if anything were to pop out, it lands on the counter and not in my face.
yeah, it's I think my mom used to do the same thing. Like she would hit it against the counter.
Mm-hmm.
There was one time like I'm like didn't read. This is like one of the first times I started like doing that, and it was like I didn't read the part where it's like push spoon here, and I was like trying to like twist one side one way and the other side the other. Like, why won't you open? Do it! And then I was like, oh, and then I like poked it with a spoon. Like, I'm like, oh. Well, I'm glad no one saw that.
Struggling against a cardboard tube.
Yeah, and but yeah, the one where it just opened in my hand was just like, oh my gosh, like it was. I'm glad that honestly, I don't get scared in horror games where people like expect you to be scared. But I get scared by stupid like Fall Guys and bright shiny colored things, and apparently add biscuit biscuit tubes to that list.
Biscuit tubes. Yeah. No, the biscuits is a good one, and I don't know why I didn't think of it.
Well, you're thinking about it now.
Now I'm thinking about it.
Also, the person I messaged earlier about a potential guest answered back.
Yay! So we will keep you guys in tune with that. But I'll move on to my favorite then, which was already mentioned, stuffing.
Yes.
Like, I don't know what it is about stuffing for me personally, but I can just eat a lot of it. Like, if there's ever leftover stuffing, I'm like, no, there's no leftover stuffing. I'm going to keep going back and keep eating stuffing. I don't know if it's the texture or the typical flavors of it, but I just really like it. It's not pretty looking. It's not appetizing looking. I just think it tastes great. Maybe I just like carbs, because, yeah, I was looking up recipes, and one of them was like, get a bunch of bread cubes. Of which
Croutons?
No, not that stale.
Not the start.
But I was, oddly enough, trying to look up bread cubes at my local grocery stores, and I was having trouble finding like an easy bag to just buy. So I think I might just buy like a bakery baguette and cut it up the day before and just let it sit. Kind of gets stale.
Let it sit, and then you come back and you're like, Where'd it go? And then you just hear the cage rattling. How dare you?
Oh no, I hope they don't get bread. Bread no good for bunnies.
I don't know what's good or bad for bunnies. That's why I don't have pets.
But yeah, like we already did talk a lot about stuffing, so I don't have to dive into it any further unless you have anything else you want to say.
Um, butt bread.
Butt bread. Let us never forget butt bread.
um, yeah. Well, my number one was already mentioned. Mashed potatoes.
This is an interesting episode.
I like how even when we're not like because this gives us that 1% when we're not in line, but we're still in line where it's on our list, just not where we put them.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, since we never share what we have on our list beforehand, it's always a surprise. And I think this is the first time we've had the complete opposites.
Yeah, it took us 32 episodes to do, but we finally got there, everybody. Cool. But that being said, like I do have one thing to say about mashed potatoes that was a little bit different than yours because it sounded like a lot of the mashed potatoes you were making were were a lot of homemade stuff. Um, my mom would buy the boxed stuff,
Mm-hmm.
to where I would call it, because once again, when I go on these like the youth retreats and stuff, like I get put on potato duty because no one else can keep mixing the potato mix for that long because it gets real tough.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fine, I'll do it. It's just cool. And then like I'll grab a teenager with little spaghetti arms, like, here, you do that one while I roll this one. And they're like, I can't. I'm like, just start it and I'll finish it. um, but yeah, they we. But I've started. I have a new joy with these potatoes. I do like the taste. My mom would buy Hungry Jack potato mix, which it's good. It's good. It's good. But one of my joys with it is the fact that you open up that box and you look down into it and you're like, oh my goodness, this looks like potato dandruff.
Oh, because it's all the flakes.
It's all the flakes. It's all dehydrated flakes. And once again, as I enjoy getting reactions out of teenagers and other people with the comments I make, um, when I'm like, look at this potato dandruff, and they're like, why? And I was like, we're gonna eat this later. And they're like, no. And I'm like, you say that now, you're gonna eat it. And then they come in line and they're just like, I have potatoes. And I'm like, you mean the potato dander? And they're like, why? And I was like, here you go, buddy. And yeah, they leave and eat those potatoes because they're like, he's right.
It's tasty, but it looked so gross.
It was gross before it was made. But no, I enjoy the potato flakes. They're good. It's really hard to mess them up.
That's fair. If it's something hard to mess up and you can consistently enjoy it, it makes sense to be a number one.
Mm-hmm. But that's all I have to say. I don't even know how long we've been recording. I'm gonna guess. Let's see, an hour and 4 minutes.
It is an hour and 4 minutes. Impressive.
How?
According to my recording, an hour and 4 minutes.
Oh, an hour and 4? I thought it was way more than that. Wow, look at that. We're actually on the time we set when we start. Started back in episode 1. I gotta ruin this somehow.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to? I'm just.
Oh wait, the states.
Yeah,
I forgot about. There we go. I knew there was something that we would make this longer for everybody. Okay, so for people who don't know, which kind of spawned this whole conversation, as Hop said at the beginning, I believe I found this on Twitter, was a map of the United States of America, and it gives, I don't know how they made this list, but they excuse me, they pretty much got the most popular Thanksgiving sides
for each state.
Yeah, for each state. So I figure I'll just start at Maine and work my way around
There is
the
an
map.
alphabetical list if you scroll down. Or do you
I
only have the image? There's a
I only
website
have
I
the
found.
image.
Okay. Here, let me send you the
Oh,
website.
yeah.
Um,
Actually, I bet I could just scroll up and find it. Can I scroll up before you send it?
this is what I get for Googling it on my phone and not just on my PC where everything's easy to copy paste.
I only sent you the picture as well. All right, here we go. This is good. Now I don't have to remember things. I can just say it. So yeah, now we're gonna go by alphabetical list, and we might make fun of you, state, but you deserved it with your choices that was made for you on the internet. Um, Side note: when I was scrolling up through the list, I saw the Akali Pengu for TFT.
That's
Um,
the ad you got?
no, it's not the ad. It was just I remember seeing the picture. I'm like, this is my next little legend. Um, I may have found a use for my star shards and and RP. I have the Akali penguin. It's so jiggly. um, and it's really sparkly.
Yeah, they're very sparkly. I saw people in the lobby with not that one, the Fury Horn one. I forget which
Yeah.
KDA member that one is.
I think that one is Ari
Okay.
because it has all the tails. Well, no, Fury Horn, Kasai.
Kaisa.
Kaiso. Yeah, I was like, I don't remember her name, but yeah, I think that's her. Any, wow, my brain just was about to say any who, but then the word any poo or any poop came into my mind. I'm like, where did I hear that? Anywho, we're gonna start. Thank you, Better Homes and Gardens, for this state map and list of their favorite side dishes. And so we're going to go down, and I'm just going to read them. The other thought in my head would be funny would be like if we said it with every other word.
What do you mean every other?
So like was one of us like
I like popcorn
so
reading.
well like if I said Alabama, you said dressing, and then I went Alaska, and then you said hash brown, and then I said casserole. Just every other word go through. But yeah. I know what we could do. You ready for this? I will do everyone that starts with one letter, and then you can do the ones that start with the next letter, and we'll go vice versa.
Okay.
So some of us might say a lot, some of us might not say a whole lot. We'll find out.
We'll see.
But I'll start. So, Alabama, which is my friend from Alabama had an issue with this when I shared this map, and said that dressing is not a side dish, but and was very mad that this was put on on the list for Alabama. Alaska is a hash brown casserole. Arizona is a green bean casserole, and Arkansas is white gravy. That's not a side either.
Yeah, that goes on top of stuff too.
What is?
All right.
Ah,
For the
okay.
C states, we have California mashed potatoes, Colorado mashed potatoes, and Connecticut mashed potatoes.
What
I'm
the
seeing a
dump?
theme.
Yeah. CMP. For Delaware, we got some mac and cheese, and for the District of Columbia, which isn't a state, but it claims something, is also mac and cheese.
Florida's got sweet potato casserole.
Georgia has mac and cheese.
Hawaii has turkey gravy. I wouldn't do. Are these states drinking gravy?
Now I'm just wondering, like, do they just take a sham wow and rub it all over the turkey, and just like, we got a turkey gravy here, just like,
Oh.
like, that sweet Turkish sweat. That's gross. Anywho, Idaho is green bean casserole. Illinois is mashed potatoes. Indiana is deviled eggs, and Iowa is corn. Oh, I forgot corn is a side dish, and that is automatically a lose because corn can't be digested, and we'll let you know when it's gone.
I do like corn though.
I
I really like
know.
corn on the cob. But on the flip side, apparently Kansas likes creamed corn, and not just regular corn. And then Kentucky likes broccoli casserole.
Louisiana likes cornbread dressing. Not the actual cornbread, just the dressing. They like to put in a little tuxedo and just like, you go out there, little man.
Okay. Maine side salad, which I hinted at earlier. Maryland mac and cheese. Massachusetts stuffing. Michigan green bean casserole. Minnesota mashed potatoes. Mississippi baked sweet potatoes. Missouri rolls. And Montana mashed potatoes.
All right. Nebraska is green bean casserole. Nevada is mashed potatoes. New Hampshire is cranberry sauce. New Jersey is stuffing. Hey, you fit
It
yours.
me.
We'll see if mine fit. I looked down. I might have spoiled it for myself. New Mexico is green bean casserole. New York is stuffing. North Carolina is mac and cheese. That makes sense. They have a lot of mac and cheese all around. And North Dakota, a state I almost moved to because it was real cheap, mashed potatoes.
You would have fit in there. Ohio, green bean casseroles. Oklahoma, rolls. And Oregon, biscuits.
Were you about to say origami?
I was going to say Oregon, and I was like, ugh, no, Oregon.
It's like Oregon. Not Oregon. Orgoff.
Orgoff.
What? That sounds really bad. Pennsylvania, stuffing.
Hey.
I don't fit.
Rhode Island, stuffing.
South Carolina, mac and cheese. South Dakota, crescent rolls.
Tennessee, sweet potato casserole. Texas, green bean casserole.
Utah, rolls.
Vermont, stuffing. Virginia, mac and cheese.
Washington, mashed potatoes. West Virginia, take me home. Rolls. Wisconsin, mashed potatoes. And Wyoming, coming in with brown gravy.
Yeah, so if any of you listeners are from these states, let us know if you fit in or you think that what they said about your state is wrong.
And if you're not of the states and you have like your own Thanksgiving holiday for your country, what is a side dish that you would normally have?
Or I guess, does your country have an equivalent Thanksgiving? I know Canada has a different day, right?
Yeah, it's in October. I think it's around like October 1st.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the beginning of October, if I believe. I have enough Canadian friends I could ask.
Yeah. Do we have anything we want to close out with?
Yep. So at this point, we don't know who won the quiz, so we can't really tell you what's next. So yeah, there's that. It'll either be, well, no, it doesn't matter because by the time this episode comes out, we will know, and might already have been recorded. This is weird.
Yeah.
Man, when we got into the middle of it, it was all good until we got to the end. We're like, wait, what?
What outro?
But still, if you want to be able to vote or comment or just be like, hey, I can't see you now, but you have great hair, we'll say thank you and also read it on the podcast. At Pointless Disco on Twitter.com. Normally you got to switch those around, but yeah, Twitter.com/Pointless Disco. There's other things we say.
Yeah, overall, we appreciate you listening, but it would help us out a lot if you either told a friend, left a review, or just gave us more suggestions through that Twitter page, because we would like to build a podcast that you guys enjoy, because we also have goofy ideas if we can ever, one, have convention things happen again, and two, actually get on a panel.
Mm-hmm. That'd be fun. Do you want to just roll D10s anyway? Just see who gets the higher number?
Do you just want to fill in this last 10 minutes before you have to leave?
No, I just want to roll a die. Oh, that's a D8. There's the D10. Do we want to see what the potential topics would be?
Would be? No, I think it's fine.
I just want to roll.
You just want to roll more dice? Go ahead. Roll more dice.
I got a 5. Here, that's a 5. I'll pull out another D10 for Hop. This one was a 2. There we go. We did it. but yeah, check out the things. Also, since we're not streaming this live, is my heater on? I thought it broke. Anywho, uh, yeah, guys. For people who don't know, if this is your first podcast you ever listened to of ours, we are both streamers on Twitch. If you want to know how to spell the names, they'll be down below in the description. But there's twitch.com. That's not .com, which you can still get to there. They own the .com. But it's twitch.tv/Itisdpayne. And for Hop, it is
Twitch.tv/Hoppocalypse.
Yeah, that's a lot more letters. And when you try to say it out loud for the first time, it gets a little confusing, but you'll get it.
I used to have a running list of all the ways my name was said wrong when people would first meet me.
Yeah, it was a fun list. I think I made it on it once. but yeah. I can't think of anything else, so thanks for listening. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Bye.